How did you wind up in, at that time, it was the WWWF?
Okay, I was in Portland, and I got a call from Vince Sr. He had saw me. He did see me on Atlanta on Channel 17, and he wanted me to work for him. He says, "Look, Rick, whenever you're ready," he says, "there's no hurry, or when you're ready to leave Portland," he says, "give me a call." I said, "We'd like to have you here, work for us." And I said, "Sure." And then a couple of months later, I gave him a call, and there I was.
What are your memories of your initial meeting with Vince Sr.?
Vince Sr. was a classy man. I mean, in Calgary, Vince Sr. was the man I enjoyed working for the most, because he's a man that, true to his word. Once he said something, we went through that path, and you didn't have to worry from week to week that, he may change his mind or whatever. I wrestled for him 2 years, and those were 2 great years.
How did you wind up with Tony Garea?
Okay, they when I first came here, in WWF, I was single, and they needed a tag team. So one night they teamed us up for no current reason, and just out of the blue, and we clicked. We clicked right away. It was great, and I think the combination, me being the accent, having the French accent, and him having, from New Zealand, it's kind of good blend, and in the ring, we had a different style, and we blended pretty good. Tony was kind of solid in his wrestling moves, and I had the fire and all that, so it made a good combination.
What are your thoughts on Tony Garea?
Tony, again, I love him like a brother. I just lost my brother in 1978, and there was a big void in my life. Because whenever something went wrong, I used to call my brother and discuss it, and he was the guy that I trusted. And so when I met Tony was, about 10 years older than me, and he kind of treated me like a kid brother, and he was like, we're on the road, and you say, "Oh, Rick, maybe you should do this," and I respected his opinion a lot. He's a smart man, and so he in some way he took some of that, he filled some of that void that was left by my brother,
Mm-hmm.
So, and still to this day, in fact, WWE were in Montreal about a month ago, and I went from Quebec to Montreal to have breakfast with him, and we're still in touch to this day.
At this time, what were you using as a finish?
Excuse me?
For your matches, what were you using as a finish?
I used the Boston Crab a lot, and that was, I think, one of the finish that I used most throughout my career. I remember when I went to Atlanta, I used the airplane spin, but that wasn't really, a finish that I liked. So Boston Crab, I used it a lot.
Memories of your series with the Samoans?
Well, I remember that, these guys, the first time I seen them was in Montreal, and I was like, wow, these guys are wild. Wild Samoans was perfect for those guys. They came to Montreal. I remember I was like, and it was cold. It was a winter, and they got out of their car, and they had like sandals. And they walked in the snow with sandals, like beach sandals. And I'm going, Jesus, these guys couldn't feel anything, and they were pretty wild. But in the ring, I couldn't believe how these big guys move so fast, and also how they were, because that's what wrestling is all about. To me, wrestling, it's an art. It's what you do. It looked like, it has to look like you're taking the guy's head off, but you are not. And that's the art of it. I mean, any guys from the street, any guy on the street say, hey, look, give a punch to this guy and I mean, knock his head off. I mean, I can find right here, you know, within a mile radius, you know, maybe 100 guys that can do that, right? I mean, that would look convincing, but you know, your head is like, oh my God, you know. So, but some guys that do it, but actually just, you know, I mean, that's what, you know, professional wrestling is all about. And these guys were like that. I mean, you'd work with them, they look rough, but they were just like, you know, they would be careful of the other guy's body.
Memories of your series, the Moondogs.
The Moondogs, they were special, you know. Well, the first, because there was 2 pairs of them. There was Sailor White, who was really like, I mean, he was like a real Moondog. I mean, this guy was like the real thing, you know. And he was the essence of the team, I think, because in real life, he was like, wow, you know, howling in the moon, you know, I mean, and they were really good a team to work with, and I always remember that. And there were guys that wanted to have a good match no matter what. There was no ego involved. And I always remember this night we were at the Garden, and Senior was there always at the Garden, and we had a match that wasn't that great, you know. And that was like the first match. I think it was first or the second match we had, and that wasn't really a good match. Didn't click that night. And I remember Tony, and that's what I liked about Tony, his leadership. I mean, we got together in the dressing room, and Tony, man, he let him have it, and us too. I mean, he included us in because we were 4 in the ring, and I mean, Tony said, well, you know, this, you know, we have to do this, and that's, we can't have these kind of matches. And I mean, he was really hot. And these guys, you know, they didn't take it personal. They were business. Yeah, you're right. No, we'll get off our asses. And from that night, you know, I mean, we changed a few things, and we had some really good matches.
Well, what was the drug and party scene like back then?
Well, you know, of course, we're talking early 80s, you know, and alcohol was the big thing. And, you know, we used to go to the Savoy, a little club, you know, close to we used to live in the Ramada on 48 and 8, and it was great. I mean, you know, it was very different from all the other places I've been, you know, and of course I thought, you know, being such a big town, New York, I mean, you know, we'd go to a place that was huge, you know, and be full of girls and whatever, you know, and here we are in this little bar. I mean, it's like so small, but it was different. It was the people that were there were very close, and you know, as far as the drugs, I mean, it was like any other sport or rock and roll or whatever, you know. I mean, different people did different things, you know.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.